Welcome to Gyeongbokgung, the most popular palace in all of Seoul and probably the most popular place in Seoul in general. Here we'll be experiencing some of the beautiful traditional culture where we actually dress in some traditional hanbok, explore some beautiful areas, eat some traditional food, and more. Let's get started. And what's happening, everybody? It's another day here in Seoul, South Korea, and today we're doing some major touristy things. Hopefully they're touristy for good reason. We're starting off near the Gyeongbokgung Palace, getting some vegan food. Hopefully this restaurant here called Maji. We're going to walk our way around, maybe rent some traditional Korean clothing, and explore some beautiful traditional areas here in Seoul. Let's check it out. And on the way to our restaurant, we passed Toseokcheon Samgaetong, which was a restaurant that had a really big line, so it must be pretty decent. However, this beautiful restaurant that we are eating at is called Maji, and we did the lunch dinner set menu for 21,000 won. It's about like $15, and it came with a beautiful assortment of food, and I really loved this like lotus leaf wrapped rice, including also the savory pancake, but I really had a hard time eating the mulnaengmyeon, I believe it's called, which is like a Korean cold noodle soup. It was very like vinegary, almost horseradishy, definitely not my favorite food, and the tea was a really nice way to end the meal in this beautiful setting. But now it's time for the main event at Hanbok Queen, a place where you can rent the traditional Korean hanbok. And there are so many you can choose from. They're absolutely beautiful. I went and chose blue because blue is my favorite color. I could not resist, and it was so much fun trying it on and seeing my wife because she looked beautiful too. And then the prices are actually listed here in case you're interested. And yeah, let's go and explore some of the traditional Korea with our beautiful hanbok. All right, everybody, so I am situated in the hanbok, traditional Korean clothing. So is Vanessa. She looks stunning, and we are heading to the place, Gyeongbokgung Palace, probably the most famous one in all of Seoul, right nearby, to get a free entry, because if you wear the hanbok, you get in for free. So let's go check it out and see our first palace in Korea. So as you can see, we are right outside of the palace, and it's a really massive gate, super beautiful, really impressive, and you can actually see the guard right in front of it, which is really cool as well. And then in the entrance, you can see the actual grounds, so really cool to get an idea of what we're going to experience and look at. So far, loving the feels of traditional Korea. Well, our version as a foreign tourist, of course. It's so cool to see the guards dressed in this beautiful clothing and being absolutely still and stiff as a board. I don't know how they do it.
Welcome to my crib.
Welcome to what?
My crib.
Oh. We are also able to see many of the guards coming in carrying the flags. I believe they're doing the changing of the guard, not entirely sure though. And we could also see some other cool stuff, including people dressed in these really cool hanbok. I don't know if it was for a special event, and we got to see this not so cultural thing here. So it is absolutely massive in here, everybody. So much space. And what's really cool too is you get views of the mountains right in the background, which is really cool to make it feel like an exotic sort of foreign place that we are actually in here in Korea. And now I believe we finally entered the main pavilion area. As you can see, enter for free because we're wearing the traditional Korean clothes. I feel like I'm VIP for once. All right, now we are walking up to the actual Gyeongbokgung Palace itself. It's so massive and so beautiful. So just for a reference, the Gyeongbokgung Palace is absolutely massive, and if it looks like we're doing the same thing over and over again, it's because there are like 3 different gates, including the entrance gates, and now we're at Gyeongbokgung Hall. I believe I'm really terrible at pronouncing these Korean names, so I'm really trying my best, everybody. And this is like the main hall of Gyeongbokgung Palace, and it is beautiful and stunning. The palace itself was actually built back in 1395 during the Joseon dynasty, and this is the largest of the 5 like grand palaces in Seoul. And you can see why it is so popular. There's so much space to see and explore, and it is so magical doing this while wearing the hanbok. So although we've seen the main hall and pavilion, there is still so much more of the Gyeongbokgung Palace to see, as I'm circling here in the back showing you more of a big open garden sort of area. So do not just check out the main hall, make sure you explore the rest in the back as well. And one of the notable sites in the back of the palace you need to check out is Gyeonghwaeru Pavilion. It is like a two-story pavilion that is really beautiful and built on a pond, and it actually refers to the king and how he can succeed and be a great leader if he's surrounded by the right people. We then proceeded to explore Gangyeonjeon, which I absolutely loved because it's the king's private quarters, and I love the reds and greens and blues of this kind of Korean architecture. You're also able to snag views of Seoul Tower, aka Namsan Tower, which actually explored last video, and it is an amazing, iconic place in the city, especially for sunset. And perhaps the jewel in the crown at Gyeongbokgung is the Gyeongbokgung Pavilion, which is so beautiful, and looking at it makes me feel like I'm in a Korean fairy tale. Or like a historical K-drama, I guess. So Gyeongbokgung Palace and the surrounding areas are massive. We were even walking around for like an hour and a half easily, only checking out maybe 3 or 4 main highlights, well maybe 5 or 6 main highlights. And right nearby is a folk history museum of Korea, and it's a really beautiful pagoda and stairs right behind me. And they also have more of like the actual traditional Korean buildings, which we'll go and check out and explore a little bit before maybe some of the more, I don't know, advanced, sophisticated architectural feats of the Koreans. Really cool to see this just nearby. So much to see and do here. So although checking out Gyeongbokgung Palace was amazing, I also loved exploring the Ochon House, which is like a middle-class Korean family house back in 1848, and it felt like we literally were stepping back in time. Now it looks like we were walking through a little area designed to be tiny little street, which is from the past, with these old sort of looking shops and like comics. Pretty cool to, you know, learn a bit of the history and just get ideas of different time periods here. So that is all for our exploration of Gyeongbokgung Palace, but coming up next, we are still going to get more use out of our hanbok by exploring Bukchon Hanok Village, which is another beautiful, traditional, iconic area in Seoul. So be sure to check that out, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.